Hare Krishna, welcome to the 7th chapter of Sri Guru and His Grace by Srila Bhakti Rakshila Deva Goswami Maharaj. Om Jnanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Militam Jine Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Divyajnana Padayane Srimate Paramadvaiti Swaminya Sirupine Sharanagata Bhaktibiyo Shoda Bhakti Vidayane Vishoda Bhakti Siddhanta Radharani Vine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. The 7th chapter, the initiating spiritual master. The spiritual master always performs his function from the platform of an intermediate devotee, whether he comes down from the position of a first-class devotee to do the work of the guru, or does so as a bona fide intermediate devotee. Because the work of guru is enacted from the intermediate stage, it is the duty of the Madhyam Adhikari to initiate disciples. A spiritual master may be one of three kinds. The first-class guru extends one foot from the spiritual world into the material world and takes souls from here to there. The guru in the intermediate stage is situated here, but he has extended one foot there and he is taking souls to the spiritual world. The lowest class of guru has both feet here, but he clearly sees the highest plane and is trying to take the souls from here to that plane. In this way, we may roughly conceive of three kinds of guru. These are not three stages of Vaishnava, but three stages of guru. A first-class devotee takes the position of an intermediate devotee when he descends to play the role of an acharya, one who teaches by example. He has one leg there in the spiritual world, and by the order of Krishna, he extends another leg here in the material world to do the duty of an acharya. The guru, who has one leg here in the material world and extends another leg into the spiritual world, is a Madhyam Adhikari or intermediate devotee. He also discharges the duty of an acharya. The lowest class of acharya has both legs here in the material world, but his vision is towards the spiritual world. He may also do the duty of an acharya. These are the gradations of acharyas, and the different stages of Vaishnavas are another thing. They are mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 45 to 47. Acharyam, three kinds of devotees. Acharyam eva haraye, pujam jas shradaya ite, natat bhakti suchanisyu, sabhakta prakrita smrita. A devotee who faithfully worships the deity but does not properly respect the Vaishnavas or the people in general is called a materialistic devotee and is considered to be of the lowest position of devotional service. This is the lowest class of Vaishnava. The second class of devotee is given also. Ishvare tat adineshu balishesu dvishatsu sha prema maitri kripopeksha yakwaroti sa madhyamaha. Devotee in the intermediate stage is of devotional service is called a Madhyam Adhikari. He loves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is a sincere friend to all devotees of the Lord, shows mercy to the innocent, and disregards the envious. The highest stage of Vaishnavism, according to the Srimad Bhagavatam, is described as follows. Sarva bhuteshu yapashyet bhagavat bhavam atmanaha bhutani bhagavati atmani esa bhagavato tatmaha. The first class devotee sees Krishna in everything and everything within Krishna. These are the three stages of devotees. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains these three stages in terms of those devotees who chant the holy name of Krishna. One who has even once heard or uttered the holy name of the Lord may be considered a third-class devotee. One who always chants the name with faith is an intermediate devotee. and the first-class devotee is so powerful that whoever sees him will feel the tendency to chant the holy name of Krishna. That is the nature of the highest kind of devotee. Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. The second-class devotee may have some mundane touch, but he deprecates this completely and fully attends his spiritual realization. He is fully engrossed in spiritual life. His attraction for Godhead is there, but he has not fully escaped from the influence of Maya or illusion. Although he is weak, still his attempt to help others is laudable. He has not completely disassociated himself from his mundane nature, but he is conquering it gradually. He is gaining battle after battle and moving towards Krishna consciousness. He has goodwill. He is a preacher. He has reached the stage just before he finally disassociates himself from this world, takes his final leave, and enters the spiritual world. The neophyte devotee may go to the temple and worship there, strictly following the rules of the scriptures. But as soon as he is outside the temple, he may do anything and everything. In his relations with others, he may not deal in a spiritual way. Scriptural dictations have only a partial influence over him. In his dealings with others, he may have no spiritual principles at all. But the intermediate devotees apply the principles of the scriptures in their ordinary life. From the point of view of the scriptures, he considers who he should make friends with, what sort of trade he should accept for his livelihood, and how he should select his friends. Fight against Maya. When a devotee's social life is also affected and controlled by his spiritual principles, he becomes a second-class devotee. When he adopts such a form of life, he is fit to help others. He won't be affected by foreign, unfavorable association, and because he has already practiced and is settled in that form of life, he knows how to deal with others and keep up his spiritual vitality. Because he has practiced in that way, he can be eligible to initiate disciples. He is qualified to help others because he has already transformed himself in his dealings with the outside environment. He can keep up his standard by fighting with the agents of Maya. He has already proved that he has kept up his spiritual position, so he can be relied upon and entrusted with the power of an acharya. There is still another standpoint by which the qualifications of a devotee have been expressed to us in the revealed scriptures. One whose reliance, regard, and faith is in the Shastra, who attentively observes all the rules and regulations and practices that are found in the scriptures, whose practices and social activities are colored by his faith in God, is an intermediate devotee. And one who acts according to his faith in Krishna in every stage, whatever circumstances there may be, is a first-class devotee. His faith in Krishna is his main guidance. In whatever circumstances he may be in, with body, mind, and soul, in thought, word, and deed, in every way, he does everything for the service of Krishna. He is the topmost devotee of Krishna. So from these different standpoints, the stages of a devotee, a servant of Krishna, have been expressed to us in the scriptures. How to see Sri Guru? Devotee. Should the disciple conceive of his Gurudeva as an Uttama Adhikari situated on the topmost level of devotional service? Srila Sridhara Maharaj answers, yes, and not only should he see his Gurudeva as an Uttama Adhikari, a devotee of the highest order, but he will even see Gurudeva as the special delegation of the Lord himself, or of his supreme potency. In the Madhurya Rasa, he will ultimately see his Gurudeva as Radharani's delegation, Sri Rupa Manjari. In this way, there are different visions of our spiritual master. Our vision of our spiritual master varies according to our gradual progress in Krishna consciousness. In the primary stage of devotional service, the order is given to the disciple to see Guru as Krishna himself, Sakshat Daritvena Samasta Shastra. Then he will see the Guru as the potency of Krishna, and finally he will see him as a specific kind of potency of Krishna according to his inner demand. He will find his spiritual master situated in a particular mood of devotion, either in servitude, friendship, parenthood, or conjugal love. This differentiation will continue until one will see Krishna himself with the internal energy, Svarupa Shakti, within Krishna. The devotee asks, some people think that one must be a devotee of the highest kind, of the highest order, who has descended into this world to act on the second-class platform in order to initiate disciples. They do not accept any gradation of gurus. According to them, one must seek out and take initiation only from the highest kind of guru. Krishna's headache. Srila Sridhara answers, I also had such an idea at first, but my understanding underwent some transformation and my conception changed. Interesting that even Srila Sridhara evolved in his conception of Guru. No? One might not think of that, no? That such a high devotee even will make some progress in understanding, but spiritual progress is infinite, so we should never think that there is a stage, or speculate there's this stage where there's nothing more to learn. He says, I did not venture to make disciples myself in the beginning, after the departure of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada, but I had some transformation through 3 events. Then I came to take up this work humbly, modestly. The other day, the same question was put to me by one devotee. I told him the story of Krishna's headache. Perhaps you know the story. Once, when Krishna was in Dwaraka, he told Narada Muni that he had been attacked with a severe headache, and the only cure was the feet dust of his devotees. Narada went to so many devotees in Dwaraka, but no one came forward to give him any feet dust. They said, oh, it is impossible. We can't do that. We can't go to hell. Frustrated, Narada returned to Krishna. Krishna said, oh, I'm suffering very severely now. Have you got any feet dust? No, sir. No one was prepared to give feet dust. Narada was benumbed. Krishna told him, you may try it in Vrindavan. At once, Narada intimated everything to the gopis, and the gopis immediately came with feet dust. They said, Krishna is suffering. He needs feet dust. Please take our feet dust and go immediately. Narada was astounded. What is the matter? He thought. No devotees would offer Krishna any feet dust from their feet, but these people are doing it. He told them, do you know what is the consequence of your actions? The gopis replied, yes, eternal hell. We don't care for that. If slight relief is there for our Lord, that is our only concern. This is one point that came to my mind at that time. Another was this. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amara Agyaya Guru Hana Tara Edesa. On my order, become Guru and deliver the land. So we should think, I'm fallible, but I'm confident that what my Guru has given to me is an uncommon, vital and nectarine thing. And he has asked me to give it to others. It does not matter. I shall take the risk. He has ordered me. I'm his servant. He will look after me. With this spirit of risk, the disciple will approach the responsibility thinking, I may go to hell, but I must carry out the order of my Gurudeva. I may die, but I must carry out the order of my commander. With this spirit, he is to approach the task, and there will be no danger if this consciousness is maintained. But if he deviates from that connection and goes self-seeking for a mundane purpose, he'll be doomed. Otherwise, no destruction can touch him. This internal spirit should be maintained, and that is the real qualification of a disciple. Yes, I am ready to die to carry out the order of my Gurudeva. I feel that this is nectar, and I must distribute it to others to save them. Ramanuja's secret mantra. There's another example of this spirit of risk in Ramanuja's case. There was in Alwar a South Indian guru who had the highest type of mantra. Ramanuja wanted that mantra from him. The Alba told Ramanuja, if you don't disclose this mantra to anyone, then I shall reveal it to you. Ramanuja agreed, and with this pledge, Ramanuja approached him and received the mantra. It had already been announced to the public that Ramanuja was receiving that mantra, and so many people were standing outside waiting. They had heard that Ramanuja had accepted this condition and received the mantra from the Guru. As soon as Ramanuja came out, the mob that was waiting there impatiently began asking, what kind of mantra has he given you? What is the mantra? Is it of the highest order that will deliver us all? Yes. Then what is it? This is the mantra. He gave it out, and the Guru chastised him. What have you done? Don't you know what is the result? Yes, I know, eternal hell. But your mantra cannot but be fruitful. So they will be saved, although I may go to hell. If you can take this sort of risk, your Guru will bless you and you cannot be doomed. This sort of risk should be taken by the disciple and only the force on the basis of that spiritual inspiration. And only on the force, on the basis of that spiritual inspiration. If he does so, he can never be doomed. The eye of the Lord is there, God is there, Guru is there, he cannot but be saved. They cannot leave him in danger and relish thinking, the person who is carrying out our orders is going to hell. Can they tolerate such a thing? Are our guardians living or are they dead? Well, that is really important, no? All these stories which Srila Maharaj tells you, that of the gopis with the feet dust and also that of Ramanuja Acharya, they show us one thing. One has to be able, or one has to be ready to do anything and everything for Krishna, anything and everything for Guru Deva. And this is not a cheap thing. No? Neither the gopis nor Ramanuja thinks like the last sentences which Srila Maharaj explains, that nobody will be doomed if you're doing the task. They think, yeah, I will be doomed, and still they are doing the task. That is the spirit. We have to be ready to do one thing. Yes, I will do my duty, but the result of it is not in my hands. This is something where you need, as you say, you need balls to do this. You need the balls to follow your Guru Deva. That is true. You need it to do it under any circumstances. Because there will be tests, there will be severe tests, the tests of fire. And you will be tested. Are you ready to follow, or are you still with some mundane conceptions, with some self-saving desire? No? When you accept that you have not the power to save yourself, then you are ready to actually do this. You actually conduct the service of Guru and Gauranga. Because then you say, yeah, well, I cannot save myself, so in the end I can do anything. So if I can do anything, then I might as well do what is most beneficial, to follow the order of the Guru. We must be so much selfless that we can think, I may go to hell, but I must carry out my Guru's order. So through me the work may go on. This sort of conviction in the protest, in the mantra, gives us the strength to carry out the work of the Acharya. If I think this medicine is helping me, I am in the curing process, and this medicine is helping me, then if I see a similar case, I may hand the medicine over to him. Jiva Goswami says, Jnana Satya Vitta Satya. If I have some money and another person is suffering with no money, if I keep tight my money and he lies fasting without food, then I'll be responsible for his suffering. So if I have some knowledge, if I can help my neighbor, but don't do that, I'll be responsible. By not helping him, I commit an offense against society. Interesting, no? On the one hand, you commit an offense against society by not helping, and by helping, you may risk going to hell. These are the choices we have. But anyway, we cannot save ourselves, so let's do what's best. Once I asked one doctor, do you know about this disease perfectly? Then why do you venture to treat the patient? You have meager knowledge. You don't know his body fully. You treat him and you are wrong. the doctor submitted to me. But an answer came in my mind that if we require every doctor to be perfectly know everything about disease, then the whole method of treatment will vanish. Because they are all half-knowing, and there is not anyone to be found in full knowledge. Should this curing process be abolished? It is not possible. So in the case of all culture, one should help others in good faith. In good faith, with whatever knowledge we have, we must sincerely help others. In that spirit, one may take up the work of Acharya. Otherwise, he will be blamed. But we must be careful that whatever a guru of superior quality is there, whenever a guru of superior quality is there, we must help others to accept him. We must not be trespasser. It is also mentioned in the Hari Bhakti Vilas that when a greater person is available, those of a lower type should not venture to make disciples. Suppose a farmer has fertile land and two kinds of seed. The good seed should be planted first. If the better seed is not available, then the ordinary seed may be sown. For the sake of the harvest, the better seed should be given the first chance. If we are detached, if we are pure in heart, if we are selfless, the better seed should always be sown first. The lower kind of seed should be withdrawn. So when a higher type of guru is available to any circle, the lower type of guru should not interfere. Also interesting, no? Srila Maharaj always says, for if you want to be sure or secure in devotional life, keep low. Means do not look for doing higher services. Just do your service. Have a tendency to do lower service. And when the time comes when you are supposed to do higher service, then you will be selected from a higher office, as he says. You will be selected from a higher office to do a higher service. You will be installed. So in that case, you will be ready to do it actually. And you will not have the tendency to just look for position, but you will always look for service. Lowest of the low. The devotee asks, but the devotee always thinks of himself as the lowest, so he will always want to take someone to the higher guru. Srila Maharaj asks, the degree of devotion to Krishna will take us to the point of thinking, I am nothing, I am the lowest of the low. But when the inspiration to act as guru will flow, the necessity to teach will come to us through the order of Krishna. You have to do it. In that case, Krishna wants to do it. It is his flow. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Sanatan, Krishna's grace is flowing through me to you. It is passing through me, but I don't understand all these words. I feel something like that. I am carrying out my Acharya's order. Being so low, still I have accepted this duty, as I have been ordered by my Acharya to do. With this necessity within, one may do the work of an Acharya. It is not only external, but internal also. The Acharya has asked us, go on with the preaching, you are qualified. If you don't do so, then why did I give it to you? As I spread this message, you must spread it. If one feels such a sincere urge within his heart, he must do that work. If we do not serve society with whatever we have imbibed from him, then we will be responsible to our guru. He will chastise us, saying, you have taken so much energy from me, and now you are keeping it within you? You must let loose to help others. If one gets this sort of inspiration, he should try to fulfill the order, but still difficulty is there. To become a guru, to capture the position of a guru, the respect of a guru, there's one thing. To discharge the duty is another. Sincerity is necessary. This is, of course, difficult. There's no doubt that it is difficult. If one is unsuccessful, he will be lost and others will be also lost. In the name of helping others, he will deceive others if he himself is full of deceit. So we must be careful about what we have received from our guru, and we must also take care to see whether we are eligible to discharge this duty. whether we are eligible to do good to others. The trap to capture Guru. The devotee asks, you can give spiritual guidance without giving initiation. You can explain what you have heard from a spiritual master to others. So what is the necessity of giving initiation? Srila Maharaj says, that is also a trap to catch the Guru. You give instructions on spiritual life to others, and those that take your instructions will say, I cannot go to anyone else. I can accept only what I have heard from you. I cannot accept anyone to be Guru other than you. The devotee says, but you can say, if you accept me, then I tell you to accept him. Srila Maharaj says, if he sincerely feels so, he can say, if you have real faith in me, then I tell you to go to that gentleman. He may say this if he sincerely believes that another person is superior to him. But if he sees that within the society the constitutional acharya is going down, he will think, how can I recommend this sincere gentleman to connect with him? At that time, he will have to come down himself and take the responsibility of continuing the work of his guru. It all depends on sincere realization. And this ends the 7th chapter. Yeah, they were given so many important points regarding the task of initiation and the task of guru. No? And one thing he says here, no? In the chapter Lowest of the Low, no? He says that there's a divine flow, and this divine flow is there. And even Mahaprabhu says, my dear Sanatan, it's coming through me to you, but I cannot understand the whole thing. But still, I cannot do anything else but follow the order of my acharya to spread this. And this is actually what we have to really understand. No? The work of an acharya is a service. We should never ever understand it as a position or as a privilege or something or anything, any sort of this kind of understanding. It is a service. And one might not feel eligible to do the service. I mean, if you feel eligible, trap. No, you have fallen in the trap. If you think, I am ready to do this, bye-bye. But there's a way to do this, even if you are not on the highest stage of self-realization, even if you are not coming down from the spiritual world, if you want. It was said in, I don't know, in another chapter, it was said in the Sri Guru and His Grace, a devotee asks how to actually do the work of a spiritual master if you do not have full control over your senses. I mean, if you look at the Sri Upadeshamrita, the first verse tells so much about what you have to be able to control before you can actually initiate people or have disciples, so to say. You have to control all your senses to perfection. But what to do if you cannot? And what is the deeper meaning of this verse? The deeper meaning of this verse is nobody controls his senses except Krishna. There is one name of Krishna which is called Rishikesh, the Lord of the senses. And this name indicates that actually it is Krishna who controls the senses. We are not the controllers. That is the point. We are not the controllers, not even of our senses, not even of our mind, of our body, of intelligence, and whatsoever. We have an intermediate power of control. This means that Krishna has given us a certain amount, not a little amount of control, but this is all actually controlled by him. He has the last word, and he is the one who controls everything. So then what does it mean for a person who considers of helping others as an acharya? It means that he must first understand that surrender is necessary. Because surrender means that you say, surrender is a military term that says, I lost. I cannot do anything more. I surrender. I have no power to battle. You have won. If you can say this to Krishna, Krishna, you have won. I give up. I do what you say. Then Krishna will take over, and Krishna will control the senses. Krishna will take over your life. And this is the actual way of protection from the inside. And since also our capacity to surrender is limited, because if you are not really on the highest stage of devotional practice, then also your capacity to surrender is limited, then what to do? And there's another thing which Srila Maharaj says, what should a devotee do who is not on the stage of perfection? He says, he gives the funny example of businessmen. If you are a businessman with a small amount of money, but you want to start a big business, then what you need is another businessman who has a lot of money and who can help you. So if you translate it to the acharya, to the work of the acharya, if you want to do the work of an acharya, or if you need to do it because of circumstances or whatever, but you're not fit to do this alone, then you need shelter. You need someone, some higher Vaishnava who help you in this. Nah? And then you can do one thing or two things you can do. You can first, try to encourage the people to go to that higher Vaishnava, who in turn will initiate them. Or you can take shelter and instructions from this higher Vaishnava and do the work of the Acharya yourself. In the example of our Guru Maharaj, it was like this, no? When Srila Prabhupada left and he went to Srila Maharaj, he asked Srila Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, shall I bring all people to you that you can initiate them? And Srila Maharaj said, no, I will not travel to South America. You do initiate them. You do the work of the Acharya there. So he got the special blessing of Srila Maharaj to do the work of the Acharya. And this is like the second choice one has. No? If one has to do the work of an Acharya, to do the work of a Guru, but doesn't feel to be ready, then take the help, take higher help, take the association on a regular basis with a higher devotee and surrender to him. Say, my dear Guru, please guide me. Under your guidance, I will be successful. I could be successful. Of course, it always depends also on your own sincerity. If the service will be really of value and of success. But we need shelter. We need always shelter. And Guru Maharaj was giving this example so strictly. No? After Srila Prabhupada, he went to Srila Maharaj, then to Srila Puri Maharaj, then to Srila Bhaktivallabh Tirtha Maharaj, and so on. So he was always having the help of a higher Vaishnava in his work. He never considered himself to be, I'm ready for doing the Acharya work. This is a dangerous position. And this is also now in the change which is going on now in Vrinda, this is also something important, no? For those who will take up this task, that they should always have a higher Vaishnava to refer to for any kind of circumstance, for any kind of help they need. It is the shelter. We need always shelter. Nobody can do the work of a guru without having actually shelter. No? And yeah, I mean, shelter can come from the outside and from the inside. And once you reach a certain stage of spiritual development, then your internal connection to Guru will be so strong that it is not necessary that that an external person is physically present. But this is a very high stage. So we should never think that we have reached a stage. If it is possible, if we can find such a person to take shelter of, then we should always do so in our preaching work. No? And this is not only counting for initiating spiritual masters, but for any devotee who preaches. Because any devotee who preaches is factually a spiritual master. he instructs others in topics of spiritual life. So, instructing spiritual master, initiating spiritual master, first contact spiritual master, Vatmapada Guru, and all these different kinds of spiritual masters, they all need this. And Srila Prabhupada also told his disciples, if you do not preach, you will become hippies again. So preaching is a necessary part of spiritual life. It makes you really powerful. No? Preaching is this part of spiritual life which actually brings you from the Kanishta Adhikari to the Uttama Adhikari. No? Or at least to the beginning of the Uttama Adhikari. And what comes then? Well, that is a mystery. That only know the Uttama Adhikaris, what really comes then. But as long as you are in Kanishta Adhikari or Madhyama Adhikari stage, preaching is your work. And preaching is your way to spiritual progress and nothing else. Nothing really else. Everything else is paraphernalia, but preaching this is really our way. And this is the only way, since bhajan, or retiring into bhajan, which exists also in the Gaudiya tradition, is only really feasible for devotees of the highest order, because then you need to have fully controlled senses. Otherwise you go nuts if you try to imitate the 24 hours bhajan. If your mind is not controlled, if your senses are not controlled, you will become crazy. So in the preaching work, one must behave. One must try to control himself. One is not alone. One has association. And this is the thing which really helps a lot, or which is the only help we can get for our spiritual progress. And having association is shelter, especially with more advanced Vaishnavas. So as you can see, it all comes together. It all comes down to this point. Our goal is become a servant of the Vaishnavas, and at some point in our spiritual development, it means helping others intensively as spiritual masters. So that's why I'm so fond of Sri Guru and his grace, because Srila Maharaj explains everything so nicely, so detailed, with so much experience and broad view, and really focused on selflessly helping others. This is really the most important thing for a devotee, to really be selflessly acting. Otherwise, if you are not selfless in your dealings when they're preaching, things get spoiled very quickly, because the other intentions will take over. So, and even if someone feels, yeah, I have so many tendencies inside me, as long as you recognize this and actively search for shelter, then you are on the way. You're on the straight path. Now, even if you might do mistakes, but generally seen, you're on the path. The problem is when you think that you have it, and you don't have it, and you go astray because you actually really start to follow some ulterior motive, then you actually deviate. This word of deviation is nowadays spoken by many people, but the question is, what is deviation? So deviation is really if you follow ulterior motives. If you're not principally focused on bhakti, on sincere devotion, on sincerely becoming humble, on sincerely realizing that selfless love is the true aim of life, of your life, not of anyone's, but of your life and of everyone's life. So as long as this is here on your focus, as long as that, you are somehow or other on the path. And on that path, our service always becomes more and more intensive, and at some point, we have to help others. So, Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Sridhara Maharaj ki jai. thoughts, questions, comments?
One thought, or actually a feeling, and this chapter, and it really resonates very well with Guru Maharaj. It almost feels like he is the text. Do you understand
Yes.
what I mean?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. This is so much how he acts and what he does actually. And it feels like Guru Maharaj. It is like, if we turn it around, it's like Sridhara Maharaj. He's writing about Gurudev, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what he talks about so much here, it is like Gurudeva. And even from the first time I met him, what is he talking about? You go out and preach. You have to do it also. You do it. You have, because now you're my disciple. Now you can do it, you know. He's talking about this so often, you know, all the time. You do. This is exactly what Sridhar Maharaj is talking about here. Yeah?
Yes.
Don't be afraid, you know. Be prepared to go to hell, but just do as your guru tells you to do, and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Yeah. Because that goes very much to me, you know, because I have always been very kind of hesitant, insecure, you know, about preaching. And I hope I will get over it now. And I feel that I have a bit of being in charge of things at the Nimai and I have to organize things and stuff like that. So maybe I'm getting over that hurdle, so to speak, bit by bit, by the grace of Guru, I think. Sure. So, yeah. And Guru has several times, you know, had tried to give me some service, but somehow he didn't, you know. Somehow he didn't, you know, because he also has a very sensitive touch, you know. He doesn't force himself upon you, you know. So yeah, but now I think I'm there, you know. Yeah, I'm getting service real, anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, everything comes when it's supposed to be, no?
Yeah, I think so. And you mentioned that before when you talked also, everything comes when it's time, yeah? When the time is right for you, things will come. That's with Prabhupada, you know. Suddenly everything was there, the time was right, and he just rocketed, you know, he just went beyond everything and anything more or less, you know. Unbelievable. But
nobody expected it.
Yeah, I heard that story. Nobody expected it at all, actually, because as you said, he was a businessman, he was well educated, you know, and he had a big business. But he chose another path. But also he was very bold, you know. As you said, just a few dollars in his pocket, you know, got himself on a steamer across the whatever Pacific or whatever what way he went over there to the U.S., you know. That is unbelievable, really. Such faith, such strong faith. But you also have to have this enormous faith, enormous trust in Guru and Krishna. It's, you know, it's on a level, I think, that is very difficult to grasp. For me, anyway.
Yeah, this is really, I mean, this is transcendental. No? This is really Shraddha. No? Shraddha is the basis, is the force behind it. No? If you have faith that Krishna is there, that he will help you, then you can do these things. And that means, that shows that Srila Prabhupada has had a direct connection with Krishna. Otherwise, how could he do this?
Yeah.
It would have been impossible. No, there was a direct connection. It was so strong and so direct that, I mean, it's inconceivable. I mean, he not only opened so many temples and initiated so many disciples and created so many spiritual communities, but also he translated so many books. How? When did he do this? How did he do this? This is incredible.
I mean, he was a man of old age, you know.
Yeah.
You know, the energy just to keep
on top of it.
Yeah, on top of it, yeah. This enormous energy to keep all these, these huge undertakings running, you know. Unbelievable. Yeah. And imagining many of them, I mean, some were very intellectual, very intelligent, well educated, but you also have those hippies, you know, okay, boys, stay away from that hashish now, you know, don't do that, you know, and stuff like that, you know, because people coming in from that world, they're a little bit, you know, it takes some time before their minds kind of settle, you know, before they get really into it. And have to deal with all these kind of people, you know, 24/7 and manage everything. And as you said, where did he get the time from, you know, translate all these books and write these books?
And also writing letters to each and every disciple when he wanted something.
That also, yeah.
Oh my
God.
God. Incredible.
I've been thinking about it many times. When will the rest of the world realize what this guy did, you know? 12 years, you know? Wow. It's unheard of, you know, in history. You know? It's unheard of. It's unbelievable. Yeah. Great faith.
Guru,
great faith. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, the Guru is really, Guru Tattva is really something transcendental. It's not from this world. If it would be something mundane, it would just be ordinary. It would be just not possible. It would have to follow the natural laws. But anything transcendental can defy those laws. And this is, for me, the only explanation of Prabhupada. Completely defiance of natural laws, to make something extraordinary. This is empowerment.
But I think our Gurudev is very close, you know. I actually heard some lecture by Tripurari Maharaj, and he just mentioned, he said in his lecture that my battery is getting low. But anyway, that we saw some Paramadvaiti came with his devotees, you know, and they were kind of, how to speak, what words did he use? A little bit like what's it called? Innocent, how to say, innocent devotees, you know. But he wanted to say that maybe this shastric knowledge is not always there, but they were very enthusiastic. And he said, it really reminded me of the days with Prabhupada, you know. So according to Tripurari Maharaj, if I understood him right, that Paramadvaiti Swami, he's a little bit like wild like Prabhupada was, you know, just full speed ahead, and this Haribol, 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 Hare Krishna, you know, it's very enthusiastic, you know. It's not just dry philosophy, you know. You have to have.
Krishna consciousness is not philosophy at all. Krishna consciousness, the philosophy is a paraphernalia which should help us to cultivate Krishna consciousness. But Krishna consciousness in its full bloom is prema bhakti. It's pure love. And when this comes, knowledge disappears. So the actual goal is love. And this love expresses itself in form of enthusiasm. So if you're not enthusiastic to do something for a spiritual master, if you're hesitant, or if you're not on fire, if you will, to do this, then there's not then this energy has not fully come to you yet. So this is actually what it's all about, to make everyone enthusiastic. Doesn't matter of his level of education. And who the hell of us has really Shastric knowledge? I mean, if you look at all the great acharyas, they studied Sanskrit. They can speak the language in which the Shastras talk. Their native language is Hindi or Bengali. I mean, if you look at the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, it's written in Bengali. If you speak it as your native language, hello, you naturally have an understanding of your Shastras on a different level, a different dimension than we could ever have in our present bodies. It's impossible, except you really study Bengali or Sanskrit. If you go really deep, but very, very few do this really, and it's only meant for very few people outside of those circles who actually speak that natively. But actually, it's not the essence. The essence is there because Srila Prabhupada so kindly translated this, the scriptures for us, so we can understand it in our own language. So that is the way, no? I would even go so far to say it's more important to learn verses in your own language than to actually try to speak the Sanskrit version of it, because the Sanskrit version, as long as you do not understand Sanskrit, it has no meaning. It's just some syllables, some sounds. But if you know the meaning of it in your own language, you can recite it. Then you have something which resounds inside yourself and which also resounds in the people who you are talking to. And this is also supported by the desire of Prabhupada and also our Guru Maharaj to translate the Vaishnava songs to our languages and sing them in our native languages. Because then when we sing, we are not babbling some syllables, we don't have any clue what they mean directly. But if we sing in our language, then we really understand what we sing, and we can use this understanding really for our prayers, for our bhajan. And this is the inner meaning of bhajan. No? It's not some esoteric saying, yeah, the syllables will do their trick. They don't do the trick. They don't do any trick. The only thing which is really from totally beyond is the holy name itself. The holy name itself, but also the acharyas and the shastras tell us that there are gradations in chanting the holy name. There's Nama Parat, there's Nama Bas, and there's Shuddhanam. So it actually always depends on our attitude. And everything what helps our attitude towards devotion is most valued and most welcome. So I, to be honest, don't know many verses in Sanskrit, like quoting in Sanskrit, but I'd always try to remember the meanings of the verse in my own language so that I can actually recall them when I need it. That I can recall this knowledge and put things together here in my mind and actually try to understand and see and go beyond in my understanding of what I currently can grasp. So that's the real thing, no? And so Shastric knowledge is good if it helps you in your devotional life. If it doesn't, it's better not. So many people, it is also said, no? Many acharyas say this. Prabhupada said this, and this also, I think it is, I'm not sure, but I think it is in the Upadeshamrita also. There's one verse: everything what is favorable for devotional service should be accepted, and everything which is unfavorable should be rejected. So that means that is like an axiom, but an axiom which can only apply it if you are conscious about what is favorable and what is not favorable. And this is individual. This is according time, place, circumstances, and person. These four factors are the ones who are actually have to be taken into consideration when considering what is favorable and what not. There are general considerations and there are individual considerations, and they should always have to be made to get really our full benefit. And that's why there's also the necessity for gurus. Otherwise, we could learn everything from Shastra. But since we are individuals and we have our individual level of development, our individual understanding or not understanding or whatever, we need a guru who actually can do this kind of decisions and can do this kind of distinguishing between the different things and giving us what we need for our next step. So I can only be so thankful for Guru Maharaj, to Guru Maharaj for existing, for coming into my life, for helping me to know something that beautiful. And I'm trying to take shelter.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I like that. I'm trying to get shelter. Wow. Thank you for that one.
Yeah, I mean, really taking shelter, this is also not something simple, no?
No, it's definitely not. Ooh.
We have to try.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, of course. It's an ongoing process all the time. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then, Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Sridhara Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Until next time for chapter 8.